Yo, it's Richie Rich from the 415, and I'm giving a shout to my people at Off the Cuff Radio, the best show out on Friday nights. Keep knocking these busters' heads off, you feel me?
Hey yo, this Fleetwood from the Cotton Pickers, and right now, you're tuned in to Off the Cuff Radio, feel me?
Hey, this is Anais Lauren giving a shout out to Eric King the Ruler, OTG, and the whole guillotine.
Hey, it's your Coco Filipina from NC Rap Scene and Turnt Tuesday. And I'm giving a big shout out to King Eric, Miss Chinchilla, Sandman, off of Off the Cuff Radio. You are now tuned in.
Coney? It's Coney Brooks, the King of New York, and I want to give a shout out to Off the Cuff Radio, the Gang Team, and Da Vinci Clothing for the love and support. Let's kill them in 2018, you heard?
Yo, what's good with it? This your boy Big Prodigy from the South Central Cartel. I'm just kicking back, chilling, listening to my homeboys on Off the Cuff Radio. Turn that shit up.
Do it. Look, I'm finna tell how niggas speaking on me. But when I come direct, I'm incorrect, you know you phony. They wanna play dumb cause they thinking I wouldn't know it. But when it comes to their actions, you better know I show it. They wanna speak, to let them speak because it's free promotion. Supposed to get paid off what you say, I see no money showing. When it comes to the competition, see no opponent. All I see is motherfucking Satan, people turning on me. Was around when I was down these bounds, acting like they know me. If you tell, don't explain yourself, fuck your testimony. I seen it all, plus I seen homies cross like a pedestrian, ain't no path for you to even walk. Yeah, I'm talking in these size 10. You ain't been through what I've been through, so fuck your politics. Have you niggas undercover fags, steady riding dick. Little boy ain't drag, what you want some to, I'm bullshit. Steady on my player, while you haters mad, I'm proving it. Swagger jacket, get the jack and swag, you ain't fooling shit. You can flow like us, but don't tell like us, take a flight or dip. If you think you do, then you assume, jump up off a cliff.
Never wonder why they hated on me. I never gave a fuck, I guess they never was my homie. Gotta watch, they probably plotting on me. Better watch it, get counted, it's a problem. Oh, they praying on my downfall. I ain't got nothing to prove, but it's fun to prove them wrong. Oh, they praying on my downfall. I ain't got nothing to prove, but it's fun to prove them wrong.
You underestimate, I'ma show who you fucking with. I'm in LA, California, I changed that shit to my government. Bet I got them stuck cause the words coming out my lips. Daddy told me shut the fuck up cause it could give me guilt. Gotta have control cause if you don't, then your life in. That shit that I was taught from the cloth that you ain't cutting it. Tryna get a cut up on my bucks, you better think again. Just bash behind my back when I say I ain't giving in. For California dreaming cause every day I be living it. These out of towns need to sit down and stop pretending quick. I'm watching for imposters that's plotting, I can't look like a lick. But haters throwing shots like a free throw, but like Shaq they miss. Damn, it's like my name brung up all the time. All I hear is fame, you gon' live for a long time. Damn, it's like my name brung up all the time. All I hear is fame, you gon' live for a long time.
Never wonder why they hated on me. I never gave a fuck, I guess they never was my homie. Gotta watch, they probably plotting on me. Better watch it, get counted, it's a problem. Oh, they praying on my downfall. I ain't got nothing to prove, but it's fun to prove them wrong. Oh, they praying on my downfall. I ain't got nothing to prove, but it's fun to prove them wrong.
What's the deal, y'all? This your boy King Eric the Great, and you're now tuned in to the last episode of 2018 at Off the Cuff Radio. For those songs that we just played, that was the big homie Cocaine with Do It Coca, and that was my little homeboy West Fame with Plotting and Hating. And for this episode here, we have a special one tonight, y'all. Our guest tonight has been a part of possibly the most magical times of the culture in the early 80s and in the mid-90s. He was a promoter for NWA, Ruthless, and then going to Death Row Records. We're going to talk about his come-up, his stories, the truth, and the real. So without further ado, let's welcome our boy, Doug Young, the Off the Cuff Radio, to chop it up with the team. You on, brother? Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to bring him on.
You hear me?
Yo, you on? Yeah, I hear you now. What's up, bro? Yeah.
I'm good, homie. I'm good. Yeah, I'm here. I'm in the house. I'm in the building, as we would say. What's up with it?
Yes.
I'm last of everybody's, 2018. I do a gang of interviews at the end of the year. But what's good? What we chopping up tonight? What we starting it at? You know I'm from up that way, right?
Oh, yeah, for real, man. I mean, for the Carolinas, because that's where I'm at.
Oh, no, I thought you were talking about, I thought y'all was out of the Bay Area. I'm sorry, I'm from San Francisco, Fillmore.
Oh, nah, you good, man, but I just have a lot of family out in the Fran anyway, so the love is love.
Yeah, my daughter lives in North Carolina. Yeah.
See, that's that
my
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Yeah.
See, that's that North Carolina Cali connection, man. The roots here are different, very deep.
Oh, yeah.
But
I've been out there a gang of time.
For real, man. I mean, Every West Coast guest
they
talk about their Carolina roots.
Hey, they still got that Kings and Queens out the club Kings and Queens out there?
Yeah.
Remember that club back in the day? Yeah. All of that. Yeah, okay.
Man. Yeah, they ain't nothing really changed except the flavor and the energy. That's all we need to change.
Yeah, I used to go out there back in the day, man. At least, I don't know, 7, 8 times, 10 times a year. That's easy. That's a low estimate. Yeah. But anyway, what's good? What we talking about tonight?
Man, first of all, I wanna know, man, like, how was your holidays, first of all?
Oh, you know, once your kids grow up and your kids got kids, you know, they my grandkids, they were cool, to be honest with you, but to be very, very honest with you, nothing but another day now, man, as you get older.
Right.
Still doing my thing, you know. I've been actually working during the holiday, man, putting deals together. Slowly sneaking back through that little music door. I see something again in it, and just not really saying a lot about that part, but other than that, my holidays is pretty good, yo.
That's what's up, man. And the reason why I wanted to bring you on is because one of the most infamous documentaries that I ever heard and what I ever seen was Welcome to Death Row. That documentary there was one of the first documentaries that really got in depth with the music scene and what goes on with the background, because it talked about publishing deals, backdoor deals. It brought a lot to life to what the music industry was, whereas a lot of documentaries really just scratched the surface. And you was a heavy part of that. So we want to take people on.
First of all, let me step in real quick. I was a super big part of that. When I first heard about the doc, Adrian Miller, who's Anderson .Paak's behind-the-scenes manager, plotted and did all of built up Anderson .Paak. I've been knowing Adrian when he was Benny Medina's assistant over at when he first got to California, and I met him at Warner Brothers. I was there with the Mark the 45 King and Queen Latifah. They was in Benny Medina's office having a meeting, and so I was out just chilling in the lounge, and he had told me how he loved my group song, my group low profile song, Pay Your Dues, and then he told me that they sampled it with the Pistol Grip Pump song, you know, Pistol Grip Pump on your lap at all. He said that they sampled Pay Your Dues, and I never noticed the sample until he said it. I was like, yeah, that's right, y'all did that doom doom part. Anyway, long story short, I had an office on Melrose, right? So one day my buzzer ring downstairs. I said, who is it? He said, it's me, Doug, Adrian Miller, man. I need to holler at you. It's important. So I buzzes him up. And then he comes through the door with a real serious look on his face, right? And he said, Harry O is looking for you, right? I said, Harry O? Looking for me? Because, you know, L.A. is like, what the fuck you mean looking for me? You know what I'm saying? Because in L.A., that means this nigga trying to get at you, looking for you, right? I said, what, looking for me? He said, oh, no, it's nothing like that. And then I said, who? Okay, because I don't know. I was like, damn, last time I saw Mike, I'm at his going away party. We good. He gave me a whole bunch of money. Anyway, this is all shoot through my head. Anyway, long story short, he said, oh, no. He's doing a documentary, and it's just not coming out right. And he saw a book called Have Gun Will Travel, which was the scumbag Ronan Roan did this little sneaky little wrote a sneaky book, and that's another story. Anyway, and they was basing it on Ronan Roan's Have Gun Will Travel book, right? And then he was like, he really needs your help, man. And a lot of people won't give him your number, and I wasn't sure if I should give him your number. I was like, nah, give my number. What the fuck you talking about? That's the homie. But he was like, yeah, but his wife is out here, Lydia, and they want to meet with you so bad. They've been looking for you for like about a month, Doug. I said, they've been looking for me like that for that long? He said, yeah, it's hard to get in contact with you. I said, yeah, I mean, you know me. I don't, anyway. So Lydia comes over to the office. Adrian brings Lydia over to the office. She was explaining to me that they were having problems getting interviews because people were scared of Suge at that time. Because remember, he was still Suge Nightmare. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Night. You know, Sugar Bear Nightmare Night. Okay? So I said, Then she was like, well, why don't we go over to Xenon Films, which is Lee Savage. He's another piece of work, but we're going to talk about that later. Claims that he wrote Straight Outta Compton. No, he didn't. Me, Jerry Heller, and him did. That's who wrote Straight Outta Compton movie, y'all. Think about it. Me, Jerry Heller, and Lee Savage. We pulled some shit that's still in the mix. Jerry died on me, so I got to deal with some other stuff. Straight Outta Compton, yes, I helped write that screenplay. Back to the Welcome to Death Row. So, sitting in Lee Savage's office, right? Yeah, think about it. Fuck out of here. How the fuck would he know all that? Fuck away from me. You understand what I'm saying? Me, him, yeah. Jerry Heller wrote Straight Outta Compton. Jerry owned the fucking screenplay, but fucked around and died. Rest in peace, Jerry. That's my man. Even when people was dissing him, Jerry wasn't all like people say he is. Did he make a lot of bad decisions? Yeah. Was he too gruff and too harsh in some of his business? Yeah. But he never cheated now one of them motherfuckers, and I knew everything that really happened. He just did a stupid shit, and when he let Dre go, like I told him and Easy, y'all was fucked up, nigga. I'm rolling with Dre, and I left that company. Anyway, back to that. We're sitting down, I'm watching the original Welcome to Death Row. All kind of R&B motherfuckers in it, from Peabo Bryson to the Gap Band to just everybody. All old R&B people. They knew nothing about no motherfucking Death Row, right? So yeah. I'm looking at this shit, and it was trash. It was garbage, boo-boo, right? So I'm like, what is this? And then I was like, what them motherfuckers got to do with Death Row? Only somebody that had something to do with it was my man at the Solar. My man, you know what I'm saying? The Solar guy. There, I can't think of his name, but the building that we was at, you know, that owned, you know.
Dick Griffey, right?
Yeah, Dick. Yeah, Dick. I'm sorry, Dick. Rest in peace, Dick, too. You know what I'm saying? And then his attorney, Virgil. I said, okay, yeah, Virgil solid. Dick solid. Dick was there. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, well, all the rest of them motherfuckers, hell no, I'm not doing this shit. This shit is boo-boo. You know what I'm saying? I said, only way I do this shit, you pulling all them motherfuckers out and bringing in the people I say bring in. Okay? And then from there, another one that was already there was Jay King. Because Lydia and Michael Harris knew Jay, you know, Jay the homie, you know what I'm saying? Timex Social Club, you know, the Rumors, Club Nouveau, all of that other stuff. So Jay kind of knew. As a matter of fact, Jay introduced me to my homeboy partner now because he was promoting some stuff for this dude, Young Trey, and he didn't really know what he was doing. And I was out on the road with Snoop. But anyway, long story short, I told Lee Savage, and he had a partner named Steve that was the owners of Xenon Film, right? I said, y'all need to think about it because I'm not doing it, man. That shit is boo-boo. That shit is good, stinks. And so then the next day, they called me and said, whatever you want us to do, Doug, do it. So then I told them, look, you got to go get Greedy Greg, you got to go get Matthew McDaniel, you got to go get, I can call H.M. Miller. Y'all going to have to fly him down. We're going to try to see if we can get Layla. I'm just getting all the people, just throwing them up there real fast because, you know, I could do this shit real fast because I know who's there. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I had to get this person, I had to get that person, got to get this person. So then and then I said, you're going to have to pay me some money, man. I'm not doing none of this stuff for nothing. Only somebody I do cheap, free interviews is for people like you guys. I don't do no free interviews with nobody like BET or none of them clowns, or especially that old Vlad. I can't stand that. I never do a Vlad interview, ever. You understand what I'm saying? So he went and grabbed everybody I told him to go. Yeah, he went and grabbed them all. And I just, then he was having me kind of sit there on the editing. I just said, nah, just tell the truth. And then at first a lot of people was, I told them, like, a lot of people going to be scared to do this because they scared of Suge like that. I said, I give a fuck. I ain't scared of that nigga. You know, it wasn't no disrespect, but I'm not just going to stand there and get killed. And these niggas know who I get on with. I ain't got to even start name-dropping niggas that I fucks with in L.A., but niggas don't want it. They know. I ain't got to do nothing. After a while in L.A., I ain't got to do nothing. People already know. Okay, well, anyway, I see I ain't got no marks or nothing on me. And I weigh all of maybe 180 pounds, soaking wet, 6'4". You see what I'm saying? So I don't see no marks all over my face. I don't see no bullet holes in me. Okay, and that ain't no miracle if you've been around since 83 in this game. And I'm going to leave it there, okay? So they did it. And then that shit started coming out real good. You know what I'm saying? They got Matthew McDaniels because Matt have all the full film. You know, they got Greedy Greg. They got A-Trend. You know, they were just getting the jewels. Now we got Rudy Pardee, the homie Dream Team Records before he died. And then they just started falling. The interviews just started falling. They got Nate Dogg. They got Snoop because they did the deal with Snoop and the Eastsiders to do the movie. You know, so now the shit is going now. You know, now people ain't scared. You know. So now everybody getting in it. And, you know, got Pretty Ricky, a lot of the niggas you ain't never heard from Death Row. And then, you know, they bought the interview. They got the homie Heron. Damn, I was telling them they needed to get the only one I didn't see Neckbone, and I was telling them they need to go get Neckbone. Lip didn't want to do it. Lip Dog didn't want to do it. That he was at Death Row. I knew Bunchy wouldn't do it. You know, these all the homies that's dead now. You know, these all the ones that got gunned down. So. Right. I was like, damn, you need to go get them cats too, and whoop. You know, these are the cats that's really there. So I knew they wouldn't get Dre. Tried to get Dre a few times. I used to see Dre always at this restaurant because my office is on Melrose, and everybody used to go to Norm Nixon, Debbie Allen, and all of them had a restaurant on Melrose called George's. So I saw Dre there a couple of times. One time I saw him and LL there. And I was like, Dre, man, they going to pay you. He was like, let me think about it, Doug. I was like, once Dre say he going to think about it, he ain't going to do it. Then I tried to get Jerry to do it and hooked up negotiated a deal with Jerry. Lee Savage was going to pay him $100,000. The last minute, right before it was interview fucking time, Jerry wants $125,000. Lee said, fuck you, and bought his footage. So he ended up buying Dre footage. He ended up buying Jerry footage. Some of the footage on there, you see, he bought it. So as they was chopping it together, that shit was flowing. That shit was going. That shit was like the shit, right? So, and then I just remember telling Jerry once it was finished, right? I said, Jerry, you fucked up, I think, man. But this documentary about to blow up. And this is how the Straight Outta Compton shit happened, right? I said, Jerry, I'm telling you, this documentary going to blow up, homie. What you need to do now, we need to have Lee help us put together a screenplay for Straight Outta Compton. Then he said, Doug, you really think this is going to do something? Jerry used to really listen. I said, Jerry, won't you start fucking listening to me for one time, right? So he said, okay, Dougie. That's what he used to call me, Dougie. Okay, Dougie, okay, I'm going to listen now. So I talked to Lee Savage, and we going to get it together, and that's what the Wankers do that you see what Lee Savage and Wankers did the Straight Outta Compton movie, which is a fucking lie, okay? Wankers was the ones that were interviewing me, and like I used to go to their office in Santa Monica by the beach on Saturdays and do the interviews of how we was going to do the Straight Outta Compton thing. Because in the original screenplay and in the original shit, I'm in all that shit. You see what I'm saying? Because like the original meeting that Easy had with Jerry Heller at Macola Records, I'm at that meeting. And then the original meeting that Easy, Jerry, myself, Dr. Dre, my fraternity brother, Hilton Brown, Mark Cerami, and Brian Turner was there at Priority Records. I'm at that meeting, okay? Those original meetings, I'm there. So anyway, long story short, the documentary was ready. You know, he kind of started letting me see snippets of it, and then he did the premiere. We was doing those premieres in these, what they call these audio-based studios out here in Santa Monica, where it's like big screening rooms where people edit movies. I remember one time we went to one where next door Arnold Schwarzenegger then was editing one of those movies, one of his movies, you know, and we was throwing parties and people was going crazy for it. So then, you know, he paid me like, I got to give Lee Savage his props, you know, even though I talk shit. Well, he chipped me off for that documentary. He paid me like about $300,000. Then he gave me another $170,000 or another $180,000 to have my boy Kevin Black sneak it on Up in Smoke tour. Remember the Dr. Dre and them Up in Smoke tour? Yeah. I got that shit on all the. I got it on all the buses. So in every city, you know, they was in. I'm following behind them. You know, because I had already gave the mantle to Kevin Black, because Kevin Black was my assistant during the Death Row years, right? When we did the Deep cover, when we did the first Dre album, the first Snoop album, when I'm out on the road doing that, Above the Rim, Murder Was the Case, all of that stuff, that's me. I'm in charge of Death Row's promotion. But then I just, you know, I got out of there like about maybe 2 months before Pac got there. I just decided I didn't want to be in the music business no more. So I just gave him the baton and kicked back. But that's how the Welcome to Death Row thing happened, man.
And that documentary took off like wildfire, and because it's like I've described in the beginning, it gave a description of how the business really was, like day to day, and what happens behind the scenes, and nobody really got a gist of that. Like we saw how Dre was rise to the transition from being a solo artist after leaving Death Row, and we want to touch on that period here as well. Like, was there a lot of pressure on him at that time to really make a splash?
Yeah, but see, it's the weird thing. When Dre left Death Row, the East Coast, West Coast thing was at its peak. You know what I'm saying? And then as he started doing the Firm album, remember? He went and got all those East Coast people to do that album. But the problem with that was niggas in L.A. was like, fuck that nigga. We ain't supporting that shit. Fuck that nigga. But people don't know Dre was trying to take care of a lot of people from L.A. and they just wasn't delivering for him. And then he got, now at this point, a lot of stuff that's not working. He's got that girl, and she didn't really do nothing. Remember, he's got Rakim. I mean, he's got Rakim and him signed for a minute, and that thing never happened. And now he's leaking. You know what I'm saying? And then Firm flopped, like he said, right? Because L.A. was like, fuck them. Even though the East Coast, West Coast thing we was cool with each other, we still kind of staring at each other sideways. You know what I'm saying? We everybody put the guns up, but niggas are still kind of in their feelings on both sides. So that's gonna take some time for that shit to just chill all the way out. All the robbing them niggas when they came out to the West Coast is over with. And a lot of stuff y'all hear about niggas get robbed and throwing them niggas in their own cars and kicking their hotel doors in. Y'all didn't hear about a lot of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's why after a while they took everything out of L.A. They took that shit to Atlanta, back to New York, or Miami. Remember? There was no award shows, anything having to do with anything that was black. Think about it, in L.A. for a time period. Because niggas out here in L.A., we knew they knew how to get at them niggas. They knew they was going to catch them either at Roscoe's, Fat Burgers, or certain clubs they was going to, and certain strip clubs they was going to go to, right? And then what niggas didn't know was, niggas knew all the sky caps at LAX is our homies. All them up for them ticket agents and seeing them niggas coming off them planes was our homies. And then at those high-end hotels, we're going to have people working in them high-end hotels. They're going to tell us exactly what rooms they in. So that was a lot of stuff people wasn't hearing about. Niggas getting their jewelry taken, niggas just getting beat up, you know what I'm saying, getting their cars taken from them, all kind of stuff. Because after a while, this is where it was. Niggas from L.A. didn't really have to go to New York. They was never buying our stuff anyway, so we didn't care. New York was just like a props thing, and you got to go out there really and get beat up by them niggas, meaning in rhyme battles. In order to really be taken serious. So that's what New York really was, because niggas in New York always kind of smirked at us until Dre and NWA came. Because I used to be out there all the time, because like the Flavor Unit was my family. And before the Wu-Tang Clan, the Flavor Unit was the roughest rhyming crew in New York, okay? I mean, the Flavor Unit was just a crew full of fucking rhyme animals, beasts. But when I tell you, and it was deep like the Wu-Tang Clan was. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't mob like the Wu-Tang. I remember when I first saw the Wu-Tang Clan, it was at one of them seminars, and that's when they started wearing those Timbs and all of that fatigue outfits and them, having them bones in their mouth and all of those hats pushed off to the side. They mobbed in this one seminar, and I mean, it was like, they came in late, and when they mobbed in that auditorium ballroom, right? It's like the whole crowd turns around and look. We all there. We turns around and we look. Who these motherfuckers coming in late? And I promise you, man, it had to be. They was at least 60, 70 deep. I'm like, who the fuck is these motherfuckers? And they come in there with that New York real grimy walk, all of them mop these motherfuckers. It's right. And I'm looking at these motherfuckers like, who the fuck is this? Lo and behold, check this out. Lo and behold, earlier that day in Harlem, okay, my man, what's my man? I can't even think, but he's the one that found the Wu-Tang Clan.
Steve Rifkin.
Count down. No, it wasn't no Steve Rifkin. It's the black dude. Hey, I'm sorry. What's his name? Dang. I can't even think. I'm gonna think of his name in a minute. But anyway, he gives me the tape.
Yeah, come through.
In Harlem. He gives me his tape, the advanced cassette of the Wu-Tang Clan's tapes. I don't even know it's them, okay? And I still got the tape like in my jacket or in my pocket or something, but that was the tape he gave me, right? So later on that day, I go to my hotel room and listening to this shit, MHT, AOD, man, and then shame on the nigga who tried. And I'm like, and then somebody told me, I know who told me, 45 King. 45 King said, go. So then I took the tape and I with me, and I had to meet Mark over at his house. So I was playing the tape in Mark's house, and then 45 King goes, Doug, that's the group we saw when we was at the seminar. That's the Wu-Tang Clan. That's them. I said, that was them niggas we saw, them 60, 70 niggas? I said, Mark, this fucking tape is so fucking bad, it's ridiculous. I said, that was them? And Trevor Williams, that's who found the Wu-Tang Clan. Trevor Williams, the black dude. And then he brought them to Steve Rifkin. Okay, Trevor Williams is his name. I'm sorry, okay. Trevor, my bad. Trevor Williams is the guy who founded the Wu-Tang Clan, okay? Well, and then he brought him to Steve Rifkin. Steve Rifkin signed the Wu.
Gotcha.
So Trevor gave me that tape in Harlem earlier that day because I was out promoting, okay? And I never forget that because I'm at Mark's house. Mark goes, Joe, that's what we saw earlier. That's them. That's the Wu-Tang Clan. I said, man, them niggas hard as a motherfucker, so that was a trip, man. That was all I was listening. I was like, man, them niggas hard as a pit of chips is still bad. And then I'm sitting up there just really listening to the dead. I'm listening to all that. And I mean, them niggas was ridiculous with them rhyme styles. I'm like, oh, my God. I was like,
they
wow.
was coming with a different, it was like they were rapping a different language or something we ain't never heard because they were mixing the 5% lingo with
with grimy, with intellect. Yeah, I mean, they was like with some old supernova, and then you go, they can get as dirty like old dirty bastard can get. You know what I'm saying? And oh my God, I was like,
especially,
oh my God.
Yeah. And so we're going to the beginning stages because what people don't realize is being a promoter is a lot of work. Like people put promoter as their resume these days, and in today's social media era. So can you care to tell us like what was the day-to-day operations coming around as a promoter coming up through that period in the 80s?
Oh, I think the book that put it the best was The Business of Hip Hop that was wrote. And mine started when I very first got started, everybody knows it was at a place called Macola Records. Macola Records is where most of the rap acts started out here, okay, from the West Coast. It's always easier to put it like this. The two acts that really didn't start there was Too Short because he had tapes. No, it was Too Short because he didn't have tapes. E40 because his uncle St. Charles had this pretty good promotion. I mean, pressing his own records. Rainbow pressed his records and shipped them to Vallejo. I promoted Too Short. I promoted E40's first album. I promoted his first album, but I never promoted Too Short until like he got on Jive Records, because Too Short only sold tapes truly out of that Cadillac, mainly on Sundays where he made most of his money. That's how I heard about him through my sister Letty. Letty told me about him, that he be selling this shit. Doug, you need to go get this dude tape. He be selling these tapes at Lake Merritt on Sunday. So that one Sunday, I'm home for the holidays because I was in college. Then this is like my last year of college, or probably the first year I came back or something when I graduated. Came home for Christmas, and we went to Lake Merritt. This is 81 or 82, I'm not sure. But and then he had that little tape that he was selling, and I bought one for $7. And went in and listened to it. I mean, you can hear the bass, the production was well, but I'm just gonna keep it 1,000. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I didn't have that much confidence in his actual rhyme skills. You see what I'm saying? But the boy was large up there in that Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? I thought his rapping skills at that time was just so dibby. I wouldn't call him whack, but it was nothing special about him. Okay? But that production and just the bottom and the subbing and his production was above average. So I understood what people was listening to. And then just his rap style was just slow and laid back to me. It took me a minute to catch on to Too Short. See, I'm not one of the ones to front to be always talking about, yeah, I knew that dude would be large. No, I didn't think Too Short would be large. So that was one I could say I missed. You know what I'm saying? That's why I didn't really try to pursue it after I got the tape. Like when I first heard E40, I thought E40 was hard as a motherfucker, and he was going to be nice. And what I did was I would get records from Macola, and since I stayed in the Inland Empire, right, Rancho Cucamonga / Fontana area, and the traffic would be going towards Los Angeles, what I would do, I would drive out towards Coachella Valley, which was Palm Springs, and now we know about the Coachella Festival now out there, right? So I would start out there in the morning. That was like an hour away from my house, but going even further east, okay? And then I would just cut back. By the time I tapped down there when my wife would leave to go to work in the morning, I would go that way and go to work, really, and drop stuff off, like in Redlands, Riverside, San Bernardino, Rialto. I would do all of those outskirts cities, Highland, Riverside. I would go that way, that 90 to 61, the 60 to 91. Then I would cut over that 57 to the 55, and then go out in the beach cities to 405, and then cut all the way back, make my way in off the 105. Then it would be the 91. Get off the 91 in Compton, go see the DJs that I was managing at that time, like M. Wong, and go, Master Rhyme. He was a rapper that lived in Compton by Lulu Park, by where Easy Man was from. Then I would go down and see DJ Aladdin, who stayed right there in Compton, like off of the Hoover side of it, in that weird part of Compton, super west side Compton. Then I would cut over and see Dub C and DJ Crazy Tunes, rest in peace, because I was managing them. That was low profile in them. Then I would cut on in, come down Manchester, go to the record stores, then go to Rage Record, which was the first hip-hop store. Then I would cut on over to Rolling 60. That's where all the other DJs was, like Jammin' James, DJ Battle Cat, DJ Romeo. A lot of talent was either in Compton or in Rolling 60. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where Nipsey Hussle's from right now. So I would be in 60, fucking around with them niggas. And then I would come on, bring it on in, go down Crenshaw, hitting up all the record stores on Crenshaw Boulevard. Then cross over Wilshire. Once I cross over Wilshire, come down Rossmore. And then I'm about to go visit the record companies. That I got to go pick up records from them, like Capitol Records, Priority Records, then cut over the hill to MCA Records. Oh, no, what I do, I cut up the street to Geffen Records, grab stuff from Geffen, and that's where all the record companies was. I would grab stuff out of Motown, then cut over to MCA, which was right there, boom, in the valley, grab records, grab checks, cut out the fucking Ruthless Records. That's deeper in the valley. And that was my daily grind, bro.
man, what made Easy and them take an interest in putting you on to the Ruthless camp?
Actually, that was Jerry that did that. What happened was, see, Jerry did the deal with Giorgio. How I really got into music. Then the guy grew up with Giorgio. He had this record called Sex Appeal. So Giorgio didn't pay me the money I thought I should have. I had my first daughter, so I really needed a job. So after the Giorgio thing didn't work out, after he got the $7 million from Motown and didn't really give us no money, gave us $2,500 check, and that wasn't going to pay no rent and take care of no little girl at that time, my daughter Erica, my oldest daughter, right? So I went and got a job. I went back to Macola Records and asked Don McMillan. I said, man, well, you saw what I did with the Giorgio project. Can I have a job here, dude? I need a job. I need some for sure money where there's money coming in, you know, because we had bought a house. We bought all kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And back then you could buy houses for like $80,000 in California. And we was good because we put a lot of money on the house, but I just needed a job. I didn't want to go home looking at my daughter and didn't have a job, period, all right? So he gave me a job right there on the spot. So he asked me, he let me do any record that I want. That's how that came about. So Jerry started seeing how good I was. So, and then Jerry Heller and Maury Alexander was managing half the acts down there. You had the Dream Team, you had Egyptian Lover, you had TNT, which would be Digital Underground, you had MC Hammer and them down there, you had Ice-T, you had King T. You had everybody. Everybody in L.A. hip-hop was really down there. You had Ice Cube and them. They was in they whack group, and they'll tell you the group was whack, called the CIA, which is on Crew Cuts record, was on Lonzo. You had, you had Lonzo and Dre and them, you know what I'm saying? And all of that stuff down there, you know, with the Turn Off the Lights and Michelle A. and all of that, remember, all of that stuff, right? So I'm promoting all of that stuff. I'm promoting all of that stuff. You know, you had the and the Wrecking Crew, of course. Crew Cut Records is Lonzo. So I'm basically like a kid in a candy store. You know, I'm like a kid in a candy store, literally. So I get to pick the records I want, and I get to make $4,000 minimum off that record, which is they have to pay me regardless of what the record do. But I work it for 3 months, right? So it's like I'm getting $1,000, like $1,300 a month per record. And imagine me having I always at least kept 10 to 15 records a month. So I'm making a killing, bruh, at this point. So, but I took my job serious. Now go ahead.
Yeah, and one record that NWA chose and they pretty much caused like a splash was "Fuck the Police." What was your reaction when you heard that? And did you have initial reaction on when they wanted you to promote that? Like, do you think this was like y'all crazy as hell if you wanted us to promote this, or you just wanted to go with the flow?
No, I was with it. I was nutty as a fruitcake. Me and Easy used to love me. I couldn't wait. They already do. I gave a fuck. You understand what I'm saying? I was crazy to this nigga, man. I think that's why me and Easy was so cool. I gave a fuck. I couldn't wait to go promote them records. I couldn't wait to lie to motherfucking club owners and say that I had no rap. Okay? I couldn't wait to lie to people and say, oh, no, man, this ain't no, you know what I'm saying? This is no rap with curse words or nothing in it. Because I still had that Cloak and Dagger shit of Giorgio and this. I also had this artist named Dino. He had this big record called Summer Girls, and then I had the Supersonic by J.J. Fad because Dream Team Records had Supersonic first. You see what I'm saying? Easy bought J.J. Fad from Rudy Pardee of Dream Team Records. Okay. So the club owners remember those records. And I was like, nah, man, I got some more pop stuff. You know, I have a couple of rap records, but none of that other stuff, none of that stuff that people hate. I used to be lying my motherfucking ass off. Nigga, all I had was, heat. And then when I heard Fuck the Police, oh, man, I was like a pit bull that ain't ate in a month, and you done just threw a big-ass steak in that motherfucker. Nigga, I'm about to burn this bitch down. Okay? So fuck the police, man. This what happened with that. They get the FBI letter on like a Friday. It comes to Priority Records on a Friday. I get up there, Priority Records, and everybody's in a panic, right, about what to do. Lillian Matulak, which was Brian Turner assistant at that time, and she didn't know what to do. She was scared shitless, right? So she calls Phyllis Pollock. So I'm laughing as I'm reading the record, and Guy Manganiello's office. Guy was another guy who used to work up there, right? I'm laughing like a motherfucker, right? So Phyllis get there, and crazy-ass Phyllis. I already do this old fucking throwback from the 60s publicist. Crazy. She crazy as a mother. She crazier than me. Phyllis crazier than me, okay? Phyllis started laughing like me and jumping around like she was a kid with the best toy she ever got in her life, right? She said, oh, my God. No, they didn't. So anyway, Brian Turner is on vacation in Europe, right? So that shit that you see in the Straight Outta Compton movie is a fucking lie. It happened, nothing like that. Brian Turner is on vacation in Europe with a do not disturb him on his phone. And what that means, he don't care unless that priority building is burning down, motherfuckers don't call me. You understand what I mean? About shit.
Yeah.
So they gave the motherfucking letter to Phyllis. And now Phyllis got contact with everybody in the music business because she's been doing it since the 60s, right? All them rock bands like back then, like Jefferson Starship, and she did like the Rolling Stones, and she did all of those types of people publicity back then. You see what I'm saying? And all of them like super rock groups, man, like Journey and all of them types, right? So she had a relationship with people at the Village Voice. Now the Village Voice is this newspaper in New York that's a big, underground, it's like our LA Weekly newspaper. So the editor of the Village Voice is like they like family, So she shot the letter, she faxed the letter to the people at the Village Voice, and the Village Voice put that motherfucking FBI letter shit on the front page. So it was a front page story of a New York underground big time magazine. The Village Voice is no joke, right? So from there, the whole fucking thing caught wildfire. From there, MTV's in New York, right? So MTV News gets hold of, see the Village Voice. And then it just all of a sudden became like TV cameras and everything is constantly downstairs. Now this, many years later, is where the CNN offices are in L.A. now, right there on Cahuenga and Sunset, okay? But that was Priority Records. Priority Records made that building what it is, all right? So it's protesters down there. It's all kind of shit down there, but we was loving it, right? And then just from there, that shit just exploded from there. That FBI letter. That idiot FBI person, whoever wrote that letter to us, made NWA what NWA is today. He was an idiot. And I think they fired him for doing something that's stupid.
Controversy creates cash.
Yep, basically. Like, you're a motherfucking idiot. What was you thinking about? Right.
Yeah, man. He basically gave NWA the hookup.
Yeah, he gave him $1 trillion worth of press. Fuck $1 billion. He gave him $1 trillion worth of press. You dumb motherfucker.
Ooh, boy, that's crazy. So the records start taking off and NWA start touring. Do you have any wild stories you care to share about those days?
Well, the only real wild story, see, people always ask me, Doug, why you don't have a lot of pictures like with Snoop and Easy? And see, that's what people liked about me. I always just was doing my job. Now, I did go to shows. Let me tell you how I did shows. You never really saw me hanging with the crew because I was like this. I've been in the game so long. Like, if I couldn't pull a girl just from my conversation, I ain't want her. Period. You see what I'm saying? So all my backstage passes would be stuffed on the inside of my shirts or in my pocket. You would never know them with them. Now, I just so happened when that shit happened at Detroit, I was there now. Okay? Now, that's the wildest story ever. When them motherfuckers was backstage and everybody was like, man, these motherfuckers trying to basically say, we can't even do this song. That shit was true like what you seeing in that movie, right? And we like, huh? Motherfucker, you gonna tell somebody they can't do a motherfucking song? Everybody was like, man, we won't do that song. We some motherfucking busters, blah, blah, blah. Better go out here and do this song. So they told the motherfucking police niggas weren't going to do that song, right? But we was all braced, ready. So we all back there like you kind of see in the movie, but you see them on the stage, but us in the back. We up there hedging our way towards the stage, seeing what was going to happen, right? So that motherfucking song came on. And then, as you saw in the movie, that part is true. Nigga, that song came on, and they had all the motherfucking undercovers in that motherfucking crowd, nigga. And then all of a sudden, you see them niggas taking off backstage, right? And then it was just time to break. And only a couple of people got caught, big group members, because they didn't really know who we was. I played like I was just a person in the audience. Like I told you, my stuff is tucked in and just eased my way on back to my car, because I always had my rental car. Never went on tour buses. Always had rental cars. I always like to be able to just go. But for the most part, I can go into some gory stuff with some of that in the hotel stuff, but it's that same old usual, you know what I'm saying? People tossing, blah, blah, blah. I got daughters, so I'm not going to indulge that conversation right now. I only have all daughters, so I'm going to leave that alone, that part of it alone. That goes with the territory. And then after a while, any guy after a while, that shit after a while it becomes a turnoff. What you're doing, it's a job. After a while, that shit is a job. Just trust me. Okay? That's a job. And remember, like I was telling you how we knew where people knew where we were? We knew where when cats used to come out of town from New York, people knew where we were because it's only so many 5-star hotels in any city, really. Like there. Remember how we're going to go on that road in Charlotte, right? You see what I'm saying? But what's that by Kings and Queens, what's that hotel like there where we at? That's the Marriott, right?
Yeah.
I think that's if you're going to see that Marriott, and remember the one that's across, it's going to be like 3 or 4 of them. So pick one. Them motherfuckers are going to be at it, And then if somebody's girlfriend is missing in action that night, like you seen on that in the movies, that's true, they already going to know where to go. And that type of stuff didn't happen a lot. Where some old hoochie mama girlfriend supposed to be done brought her ass home, and then at the hotel rooms where we at. And then you have them problems a lot in them cities. That's true.
So during this time period, the money's coming in. Ruthless is one of the top labels in the country. But then always in scenarios, this happens. There's come problems. Then you have Ice Cube. He's talking about wanting to leave NWA, claiming shortage of royalties and things of that caliber. Now, how much of a void do you think Cube leaving NWA left on Ruthless?
It was major at the time. I was pretty upset by that. I remember going to the marketing meeting when I found out what was really going on with all of that, okay? And there was a whole bunch of sneakiness. That's why I don't like Brian Turner to this second. I know it's old. I don't really feel as much venom for him as I used to, but he was the one that instigated that whole thing with some missteps on Jerry and Easy's part. They're culpable, to blame. Yeah, they probably gave him the money he was supposed to get, but at that point in time, you're supposed to give everybody super bonuses, is what I said to them. Because this is what and I always tell people like this. At that time, Ice Cube was supposed to get a check. Now, mind you, this is for Straight Outta Compton and the Easy Does It album for $20,000, and that's my low ball. But let me be kind and say $30,000 check. Let me just say $30,000, right? You know how much money I made off the motherfucking Straight Outta Compton album? $180,000 to $190,000, and that was just the money they paid me. I'm not even counting the product, that I sold, the promotional product. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not even counting that.
Yeah.
So it's like, how the fuck I make more than Ice Cube? Then come to find out I make more than Ice Cube and Dr. Dre. How the fuck do I make more than Ice Cube and Dr. Dre? I asked Jerry and Easy. I said, well, man, give them a bonus. I don't know what to do, but give them some money. And then when I started seeing, when Pat Charbonnet telling me to stay out of it, and Maury Alexander's telling me to stay out of it, and a couple other people, and Brian Turner tells me to stay out of it, just let them guys handle their own business. I say, stay to have their own business. What are you talking about? We building these groups, and then all of a sudden if they break up, we got to start over again. Fuck you. You stay out of it. I'm saying something. And then I said to Easy, and I said to Jerry, and I said to even Brian Turner, the little fucking snake. How do you let the nigga with attitude get out of a group called Niggas with Attitude? He's the nigga with the attitude, motherfuckers. Let's keep it real. This is in a marketing in front of everybody. I gave a fuck, right? How you let him out the group? I don't get this, Easy. I said, man, you niggas is tripping, man. That group ain't going to be the same. But then when I thought about it, I said, yeah, but they still got Dr. Dre, because now I'm pretty bright on how shit works. As long as they got the sound, they're good, because it'll be another hot artist come along. You see what I'm saying? But you got to keep the person that's producing the sound. You see what I'm saying? So Cube goes off. He didn't go far. Brian Turner does his thing. And Cube asked Brian to let the Bomb Squad produce his thing, because at first Cube wanted the dude that did First Base to produce his album, but he never showed up to the meeting out there at Def Jam. From the words of Cube, which I saw in the interview, I just now recently learned this to be factual. He's out there. He's disappointed that the dude didn't. Sam Sever didn't show up. Right. Sam Sever didn't show up, and then as he's leaving Def Jam, you know, 'cause him and Leo are sitting there waiting on Sam Sever 2 hours. He don't show up, so Cube and Jinx bounce. Right. As they bounce, they see Chuck D. Chuck D said, "What you doing out here?" And he told him what he was doing out here. And then he said, "Man, I need a producer." And then he said, he took Cube's number. Said, "Cube, could you call me back, man? I'm gonna call Hank and see what we can do." You know what I'm saying? He called Hank. Hank tells him to come over there, and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm still in charge of the America's Most Wanted album. So nothing really never changed for me, but it was just sad to see all this work we done put in with NWA, and now the house is divided over not wanting to pay somebody just more money. And like what I said to Jerry and them was, well, why don't y'all just not buy yourselves, instead of buying yourselves 3 cars or 4 cars, just buy yourself 2 cars and give him and Dr. Dre and Ren and Yellow Boy some bonuses. Okay, you paid him what the contract said you're supposed to pay him. But look at how much fucking money this shit made. And shit, I made more motherfucking money than them guys. How the fuck is that fair?
And that carries on to the 100 Miles and Running, Niggas for Life era, where Dre, it seemed like he came to more of his own as a producer. And I feel that's probably some of Dre's best produced work. And Ren, he stepped up on his bars as well to fill that void that Cube made. Do you think these guys, they excel expectations with Cube leaving?
No,
for that album?
Because it just wasn't the same. No, I'm going to say no. Because to be honest with you, I didn't like neither one of them records. Okay? Because no. See, I don't candy coat nothing, bro, as you hearing in me and my voice. No. I thought that motherfucking America's Most Wanted album was a fucking masterpiece, and he got them niggas. You understand what I'm saying? All I heard was blah, blah, blah on them other records. I was just too upset with them, I guess. Now when I think about the production, was it crispier and this, that, and the other? Yeah, it was crispier, but you have now dropped the rhyme talent because them cats pushed each other. And then you got to remember this. DOC at this time now had that accident. So he wasn't really helping them in with the writing. He was probably helping in with the actual physical writing it down, but his voice wasn't working shit. You understand what I'm saying? Let's keep it 1,000. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
See, when you start doing the wrong thing by things in life that I didn't notice, and this didn't even happen with me as an example, you know what I'm saying? shit just don't be going right for you. When you ain't doing certain things right, and we all know when we out there fucking up. In other words, nigga, you know what you out there doing, nigga. You understand? Nigga, you know what you doing. You see? Shit just starts falling apart around you. Think about it, bro. So now, think about it. And this is a great way to segue into where you going to come to me next. Now Dre about to leave. You see what I'm saying? Because guess what? These niggas ain't making as much money with them albums that you was asking me they didn't step their bars up. Let's just say they did step their bars up. They didn't. Their money didn't step up. Because, yeah, that thing hit the charts faster and went number one because people knew who they were, right? But them other records just slowly were selling forever. That record was selling since Macola days and drip, 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 drip. So now this company is building, and then on top of that, people forget that J.J. Fad brought the pop money to that label, okay, Ruthless. Ruthless, all that other stuff really got financed off J.J. Fad's album, and people don't know that. Pop money is big money. That Supersonic was pop. Okay, that Supersonic was pop, bro. So you got them girls disgruntled. You got everybody disgruntled. Because you got to remember, they were saying that Dre and Dre's contracts, he was getting 3% production, right? You know what 3% is, right? Per album. 3 pennies. 3 pennies.
As a producer. Damn.
Yeah. 3 pennies a CD. Now, we ain't calculated in the we have not calculated in the interest on that money, because they're gonna go out and do stupid shit. First of all, they're gonna get their house, cool. They're gonna go buy stupid cars, cool. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get themselves nice, that's cool. And then the trickiness then will start depleting your money. You're gonna have 1,000 little females over here, there, and over there, there, and the other, or whatever that you got in apartments. We're gonna all keep it real right now. You're gonna have females or males. Some of these cats got males. Let's keep it real. Buying cars. They tricking. And then some of them might now start having kids with some of them women, right? Now they got to take care of the kids that they hiding, okay? So imagine you got cats with 3, 4, 5 apartments around or little houses around Los Angeles, the Valley, back then, deep in the Valley somewhere, that those are still bills, and them bills come every month, okay?
Expenses.
Yeah, expensive, right. And then some of them you writing off, some of them you tricking off, because then early in our lives in that game, we don't know what we're doing. We don't really know what we're doing as far as knowing how to manage money. Our money management is atrocious. And then at the time that we understand what we're doing as far as that your money got to get a fucking job, and you can't spend that money until that money bring home a goddamn paycheck. And when that money bring home that paycheck, you don't spend the whole paycheck. You only spend a tiny percentage of it. Out of 16%, you only spend 2/16 of that percent of it. You see what I'm saying? On yourself. And that other stuff you got to put back into your business. You got to save some of it. Then some of it you got to have an emergency fund. Okay, then you have a vacation fund. You see what I'm saying? That's how you start allotting your money. And this is real money management talk. And then you got to invest some of that money. You have to. Because that way you get to write some of that stuff off. But most of us learn so late in our lives that we around 60, 65. When it's too late, now we ain't making no more motherfucking money.
Damn. 3 pennies a record. That's crazy.
That's crazy, huh? That's
especially
crazy.
when at that time he was the highest demand producer in the game.
Check this out, bro. At that time, he done made the industry $1 billion. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. He went in there and cleaned up that J.J. Fad album. He didn't really probably want his name on it, but Dre went in there and cleaned up that production on it, right? Michelle A's album, right? Easy Does It, his album. That Turn Off the Light, that Juice record. Now, all of that stuff is still selling too, bruh. He done made the music industry $1 billion at that point easy. He did the Above the Law, some of that stuff on Above the Law. And people thought he did most of it, so they bought Above the Law. Anything that was coming off of Ruthless, the DOC album. I'm sorry, Doc. Who can do it better? You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody do it better. He done made at that point in time, he done made the music business $1 billion, bruh. Do the fucking math. How the fuck this nigga broke? And then think about it. You put all that stuff together, huh? This is before he even starts Death. This is before he even starts Death Row. He done made the music business $1 billion. So yeah, with Dre, a womanizer and a woman beater, yeah, because I was there tonight. When he beat D Barnes up, I got beat up with her. We was hanging out together, me and her that night. You know what I'm saying? His bodyguard slaps me in the mouth and knocks two of my teeth out the side of my mouth. Yeah, did he do all that? And was he hitting on women? Yep, he sure was, little coward motherfucker, putting his hands on women. Wouldn't put your hand on no man, nigga. Wish you would have put your hand on my motherfucking daughter, nigga. Whatever, nigga. I don't give a fuck about you being Dr. Dre. But the point that I'm making, though, the man is a talented motherfucker when it comes around with fucking with them buttons and them knobs. Because I never seen nothing like it. Because after he left Death Row, I called him and said, man, you should produce LD Bars. He said, that's a good idea, dude. So it took me forever to go find L and clean him up and take him to him. And then we go over there that day when he was working, because this is when he was messing around and experimenting, right? Ice Cube, we go over to Larrabee Sound on, San Vicente and Santa Monica, that studio. This is a funny day. You're going to have to hear this story I'm about to say right now. And I'm sorry, Benny. I'm going to tell what happened. I'm talking about Benny Medina. We go to Larrabee Sound, right? Anyway, Benny Medina is L's A&R person at Warner Brothers. So L goes to a meeting high. Let me speed this story. L goes to a meeting high, and they ended up, that was doing the LD Bars in the Storm album, right? He goes to the meeting high. All the top white executives is at this meeting. L cusses everybody out, so they drop him. Anyway, L has no deal. That's why I called Dre and said, Dre, gotta help my boy L out of it. He said, okay, Doug, fuck it. I'll produce an album on LD Bars, right? So I cleans L up, had that motherfucker stay with me for about, L stayed with me for 2 weeks over there. I was there. I had a fly-ass apartment over in Melrose area, right? So we ready to go over there. We go over there that day. We get there. They was in the studio. They recording. It was George Clinton, George Clinton, Ice Cube, and Dr. Dre. That's when you hear that you remember that ominous song when Dre does his solo album. That's on that album. They was recording that song, Dre and Ice Cube, and that's when they finally got back together, squashed the beef or whatever. So we outside waiting. So me and Al go outside of Larrabee Sound. We say, let's walk around the corner, man, and grab a hot dog. So we walk around the corner, and we see Suge hopping out of one of his cars. And then we see up at the hot dog stand, we see Benny Medina and and Babyface, the singer Babyface, right? So, we all know each other. I'm like, damn, Benny, what's up, boy? I ain't seen you in years. What's up with you, man? I'm with L, and L and him cutting their eyes at each other, because I already kind of know the tension. I wasn't sure if him and L talked since Benny cut him loose. So, but L and Babyface is boys, because, they wrote a lot of songs, and, they both wives, they like really like cool with each other, right? So they all chopping it up. So Suge is taking his time getting out of the car, right? So we get our hot dog, and I see Suge. I said, what's up, Suge? He said, what's up, Doug? And then me and Al, he tell me to come here. And then I said, okay, hold on 1 second. Let me grab my hot dog. You know what I'm saying? So L walks over there with me, with Suge. And then me and him just talking, what you doing over here? I said, man, trying to get Dre to see if he do something with my boy L. And then he was like, man, you should have just brought him to Death Row, dude. I was like, man, I thought, it's only really singers over there. I mean, rappers over there, woo, woo, woo. Basically saying, nigga, I'm not coming back on no motherfucking Death Row in my mind, right? I can take this nigga nowhere near Death Row in my mind, right? Once saying it out loud. So we just sitting up there shooting shit. It was a nice sunny ass day out there, and back in this is a cut where it's a car wash back there and everything. So Suge tells Benny, hey Benny, come here, man. The niggas is down there talking, right? So we talking, and all of a sudden, Suge is talking to Benny, and for some reason, Lola, I got to put Babyface back into this shit too. So he's by his black Mercedes, right? He don't even really come down, but he just at the end on his trunk part, leans up against the trunk part, eating the rest of his hot dog, right? And I wondered to myself, why this nigga ain't coming down here? I wondered to myself, why this nigga ain't coming down here? So anyway, we just shooting the shit, ain't really talking about shit, and then Suge all of a sudden looks over at L and go, man, you need to get away from this motherfucker, man, and come on to Death Row, L. I don't know why you didn't bring him to Death Row, Doug. He ran up on everybody. I said, man, this nigga know how to go to Death Row. I asked him, you know him like I know him. Nigga, asked him to come on over there. We talking about who I should have brought him to. Anyway, and then he said, Benny Mills stealing your money, right, L? And then he said something under his breath, and then all of a sudden, this nigga Suge reaches back with an open fist and slaps that shit out of Benny.
Damn.
And I'm stuck. I'm stuck. You know how you like stunned? I'm about to put another bite in my mouth. Now I'm stunned. But I got to give it to Benny. Benny didn't handle it like a G. He didn't clang all out. He just, he ate it. He just, you know what I'm saying? And this nigga L ain't shit, nigga. Nigga L started busted up laughing.
That's cold.
This nigga burnt. This nigga cold. This nigga burnt up, right? I didn't laugh. I just sat there with just a stunned look on my face, right? And Benny ate it though. You know what I'm saying? I just played it off. Nigga, as soon as motherfucking Babyface is watching it from a distance, this nigga do a beeline to his car door, opens that motherfucker up, gets in it, because you got to do a U-turn. Do a U-turn. Boom, go down to the Santa Monica, make that right, and keep it pushing. And then Benny just walked off, got in his car. He had a Mercedes or a BMW or one of them type of cars, too, and didn't say nothing. And as we sitting up there, still stunned, L and Suge is now talking. And I'm so stunned, I had to go get some more to drink because the shit was caught in my throat.
That's crazy. So after you guys leave Ruthless and you end up linking up with Suge, like what was the first impression that you have of this guy? Because many people will tell a story and they do be so shook up with the guy. So what was your first impression of it?
Well, see, the first impression was this. When I very first got there, I found out by an accident. I had just left Ruthless, and I noticed that when I went to pick up records that day that there was a whole bunch of producers there. And, I didn't really pay anything of it. So I goes down to MCA. This is on a Tuesday when they started releasing records on Tuesday specifically, right? So I go pick my records up, pick my checks up. So I go get a $40,000 check from MCA Records. I had a bunch of checks, just got like a $30,000 one from Ruthless Records because I was doing the cocaine, get his name back. I heard you playing cocaine stuff. First he was Who Am I? He gets his name back. I went to pick his record up. I went to pick Above the Law record up from Ruthless. The Penthouse Players that day. Jimmy Z and Dre had did something like on some jazz stuff. And I had all those records in my truck, right? So pick up my stuff, and there was still traffic out, so I couldn't really drive home. So I go to the Fat Burger right there on Cahuenga and Universal, which is now Universal City if you come to Cali, okay? going to be Universal City, but that's what MCA Record was at first, where you see Universal City now, right? That was just like office complexes of distribution centers. That's what that was. The corporate offices of distribution was right there. So I'm there at the Fat Burgers trying to waste some time, and I get out, go in, and I leave my wallet in the car. As I'm running back out after I order my food, after I'm running back out to grab my wallet, I see Dr. Dre, and I see DLC pulling up into Fat Burgers, right? So I run back in. I say, hey, what's up, guys? And I say, y'all coming in here? And they say, yeah. I say, I'll holler at you in the store. I got to pay for my food, right? They had the top down. So I go in there paying for my stuff and then ordering extra stuff. So Dre comes in. Doc is still in the car, and I look out and see DLC. This motherfucker in the car drunk. But that's when him and Dre used to be always drunk. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas used to be always drunk back then, right? So I'm just sitting up there chopping it up with Dre, paying for my shit. And then he starts ordering his stuff, and I'm telling him about, yeah, man, and I just left Ruthless, man. I went and got the new stuff down there. And, yeah, man, what do you think about this, that, that? And, yeah, I seen you did this album with this. What's this, man? Blah, blah, blah. I'm just talking. And then I asked Dre as we walking out, let me back to the story. I'm saying, what do you think about this, that, and the other? And he's like, nah. So then, and then he ordering his food, right? He was ordering his food. Then I'm seeing this nigga looking at quarters and nickels and dimes and pennies and a couple of dollars in his hand, right? And then he was like, hold on, let me go back out to his car. I'm like, no, don't go back out to your car. I got whatever you want. I said, Dre, what's going on? And he was like, and well, what's wrong with you? Why you was like, when I asked him about the Penthouse Players, he was like, nah, Dad, they trying to starve me out. I said, who trying to starve you out? He said, Dre and, Easy and Jerry trying to starve me out. He said, I'm not at Ruthless no more. I said, what? You ain't at Ruthless no more? He said, nah, man, I just started a new label. I said, what's the name of the label? He said, Death Row. I said, Death Row? I said, no wonder I ain't been seeing you over at the office. And then it made sense with all those producers I saw in there that day when I was in there picking up the records and my money, right? So then he said, yeah, and he said, I've been gone for like a couple of months, and I'm over here at the Stolar building, Dick Griffey building, woo, making my album, about to get started with my album. Then I said, man, what? I said, who you going to have doing the promotion? He said, I ain't got nobody to do nothing. We just really got started. I just did a quick record that I don't really like that's on 12 inches on the soundtrack. I said, man, shit, I'll roll with you. He said, you come help me? I said, yeah, fucking yeah, I'll help you, nigga. You the sound. I don't believe them niggas left you in the dirt like that. Nigga, hell yeah, I'll help you. And then, so I said, you know something? I paid for his shit. They gave me my stuff. I said, I'm about to race back out to Ruthless, dude, and tell him I quit. Then I said, where you staying at? He said, yeah, man, I kind of burnt my house up, and he was laughing under his breath. Remember my Eminem say they found a can full of matches in a burnt-down house. Remember that? So he's staying in the Marcion at this point. Okay, that shit was true. That nigga did his house like that for the insurance because he ain't had no money, right? So I said, you staying in the Marcion? I said, you want me to come to your house around the corner? Because he used to live around the corner from Jerry in Calabasas in the gated community, and Easy had the biggest house up on top of the hill. I said, I'm going to come out to the house after I talked to Jerry now. I'm going to come out to your house. He said, I'm not out there. I'm at the Marcion. And I said, oh, shit, the 45 King is flying in from New York. He at the Marcion. I said, look, I'm going back out here to Ruthless. But first I got to go cash their check. So I'm going to go down here. He started cracking up. I said, I got to go down here to this Wells Fargo bank and cash their check because they bank was Wells Fargo Bank at the time, right? So I said, I'm going to go to Wells Fargo Bank. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go back to Ruthless and tell them I quit. But they ain't getting their money back, but I'm going to still promote this stuff. And I'm going to promote whatever you got. He said, yeah. He said, I just got a 12-inch out. Maybe you'll help me with it. And then I said, but I'm going to come over to the Marcion because the 45 King should be there tonight. So once I leave out there, I'm going to come back. I did out there. I told him I quit, blah, blah, blah. You ain't getting your money back. I done told this story enough times. People know it on other interviews, blah, blah, blah. So I get back to the Marcion, mark the 45 King. And this is now when we got little burner cell phones, most of us. I kept them burner cell phones during this time, right? That the last night of a year or something. They look like, remember the burner cell phones back then? I called Mark. and I call Mark and just tell him I'm on my way. So as soon as I get to the Marignan, the valet people come out. They take my keys and go park my car. As soon as I walk in, I see the 45 King. I say, "What's up, Mark?" And then whoop. And then after a while, I see the DOC and I see the DOC and Dr. Dre at the concierge. I guess dropping off laundry or something, right? And then I was like, hey man, what's up, Dre? Hey Dre, this is and then Mark said, "The 45 King, man, you want 45 King?" He said, "You want a 45 King a tape or CD?" And Dre said, "Yeah, you the 45 King?" He said, "Yeah, I'm 45 King." I said, "Yeah, it's 45 King. I told you I was coming over to meet with him." He said, "Man, you and the 45 King should come over to the studio." I said, "I can't do it today," and he's jet lagged right now. He's gonna be here for the rest of the week. He said, "Yeah, we'll be over there every day, Doug. Don't even trip. Just come tomorrow, man. Bring the 45 King with you." And that's how I found out. So me and the 45 King go over there. That following day, Bushwick Bill is in there. And they're at the early parts of the Chronic, making of the Chronic record. And then I was asking him, "Well, what's the name of this record you want me to promote?" And he said, "It's Deep Cover, but I don't like that shit. It's some bullshit." And Snoop said, "I don't like it either. This is when I meet Snoop, Dash, Corrupt, Jewel, all of them is in there. Warren G, all them little youngsters running around like kids in a candy store." And the atmosphere up there was just amazing. You could just see they was happy, and oh my God, everybody was like, had a lot of pep in their step. It just reminded me of the early days of Ruthless, right? So it was only wax of it, so I didn't even really get to listen to it, right? So I go to once I got home, the next day I went to Groove Time and had Al record a copy of it off the wax for me. So I went down to Groove Time. It was a record store in San Bernardino. So they recorded me a copy of it, and I was listening to Deep Cover. I said, "Okay, it's cool. So I left a whole bunch of Deep Covers there, and I just started dropping them off all over town. And then when I would go revisit them, it was like they was all just sitting there. I was like, damn. And then the DJs that I was giving them to on the West Coast was nobody playing it. Then it just hit me. I'm saying, these niggas trying to starve Dre out. Okay, I see ain't nobody going to touch this record. Because remember, Ruthless is still the most powerful label, right? So
yeah,
I said, fuck it. What I did was I flew a lot of them out to the East Coast with me because I had a shitload of them, right? I was like, man, this shit is just sitting here. Wasn't doing nothing. So I said, I'm not going to even fuck with the West Coast no more because nobody was playing it up north in Northern California or out here. I'm like, these dirty motherfuckers, right? So I go out there one weekend. I used to just go over to 45 King. How he had so many apartments around Manhattan, and I had keys to like 2 of them. Mark was balling at this time, right? So one weekend I just went to Nails. It was a club like where hip hop first was meeting fashion. You had Andre Harrell, Russell Simmons there, Kamora Lee, what's her name, Tyra Banks. This was like when fashion and hip hop was blending together. Young Puffy is in there. We all used to go on this Thursday. Jada Pinkett would be there. Latifah and them would be there. Veronica Webb, she was like the largest out of all of them back then. She was a supermodel, right? So these were all the models and stuff with me. So I would go every Thursday. I made sure I flew to New York every Thursday. Thursday night had my ass in Nails, right? So I'm dropping them off to everybody. Superman, Clark Kent. I dropped a gang of them at the 45 King house. Kid Capri, run my thing. DJ Red Alert, you know what I'm saying? Just I did my runs. Go to Upstairs Records or Downstairs Records, whichever one it's called again. Do a couple of clubs. Go to the Fever. Hit this club. Hit that club. Hit this club, and then I'm out of New York. I do that. I go back a couple of weeks later. I'm at the 45 King, and I'm just out on Broadway, and I see Hank Shockley, from the Bomb Squad, right? And I say, hey, man, I'm at Mark's house, and he's gonna get a limousine. He's gonna get a limousine, and we're gonna go to Superman Clark Kent's club tonight, man, on the West End Highway. You should come with us, man. It's all on us, man. You know what I'm saying? It's on me. It's on me and Mark. Just come enjoy yourself. So he meets us over at Mark's fly-ass apartment on 43rd in the West End Highway, across the street from the diner. Right there on the corner is going to be the UPS Center. UPS big old hub. It was a big hub of the UPS thing, right? So we get in a car, limousines downstairs waiting on us, and then we pull up to the Velvet Rope Park of Clark Kent's club. Hank Shockley jumps out first. They see who it was, so they let us in. You know, the VIP section. Mark pops out. I pops out. So we smashing in this motherfucking club. Now, remind you, we're in New York City, and what's that movie called Belly? Remember how Belly, when they walking in that club, we walking in like that, and I'm high as a motherfucking kite. We all high as kites, right? But we just smoked some weed, right? And now Superman is on the ones and twos, cutting Soul Clap, Papa Large, and Deep Cover. And that motherfucker was killing this mix, right? And at this point, the motherfucker, you know, I was like, wait a minute, that sounds like Deep Cover. You see what I'm saying? But the blend of the mixing that he was doing, he was murdering this shit, right? And then you could see that Deep Cover was going to be, you know what I'm saying, the premier song that he's really bringing all the way in. And when that Deep Cover song came all the way in, them New York niggas lost their goddamn minds. They knew every word of the lyrics. They knew everything. And I'm just sitting there stuck, stunned, and in disbelief. I'm shocked. I'm like, what the fuck? And then Mark looks at me, oh, yeah, Duff, I forgot to tell you, that Deep Cover record's blowing up in New York. I say, you think you forgot to tell me? I was just stunned. I mean, they knew everything. They knew all. It was all the young cats. All the youngsters knew this. You know what I'm saying? They knew it word for word, lyric for lyric. So that's Saturday. Sunday, I tell Mark, man, you know something, I'm going to change, because at first I was going to fly out on Monday. I said, no, Mark, I'm going to change my flight. I'm flying home tomorrow. I got to go tell Snoop and Dre. You know what I'm saying? I changed my flight, get the first thing smoking out of LaGuardia. It was 6 a.m. flight to L.A., 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. That would get me home at 1 or 2 o'clock on Sunday, right? So I go from LAX, and I go straight to the Solar building to tell them motherfuckers what happened. And then Snoop and them niggas think I'm lying. But as I'm up there telling Dre and what happened and stuff, Dre said, for real? I said, I promise you, Dre, that record's about to blow, man. And then that night as we leaving, I hear Stretch and Bobitu playing it on their show. I hear DJ Red Alert playing it on his show. It was like, God damn. I mean, that was one of the ones where you got to do your work. You got to just go do your work. Just, you know, I wasn't going to have all them records sitting in my goddamn house. You know what I'm saying? So I just said, fuck it. I just threw them in New York and threw them overseas, and it blew them up in both places. Overseas, blew up too. I mailed a lot to like London, Copenhagen, Germany, Amsterdam, all down in the Balkans, because I have DJ friends down there, you know, in the Eastern European countries, Prague, France. I just mailed them. You know what I'm saying? And it was a shocker. So, and then them niggas kept telling me, nigga, stop lying. Yeah, I promise y'all, nigga, you about to be large, Snoop. I'm telling Snoop, nigga, you about to be large, you old tall, skinny nigga. He was like, nigga, stop lying, with that old smirk grin under his face. I said, I promise you, dude. So Trip, him, Dash, and Corrupt walks down to Jack in the Box. And that was on Cahuenga and Sunset to grab, because in that building, we was either eating at that Jack in the Box or we was eating up at that Popeyes up on Hollywood Boulevard, right? They'll tell you, or that taco stand across the street. There was those three places is where we ate during that part of the Death Row years, right? They walked down to Sunset and Cahuenga to the Jack in the Box. They crossing back over the street on the other side because that's the side of the street that the Solar building was on. They tells us when we get back that Q-Tip, Tribe Called Quest, them niggas saw that nigga Snoop and was jocking him and wanted pictures. And then he said, Doug, you right, man. We just saw motherfucking them Tribe Called Quest niggas. And they wanted to take a picture with me, man. He said, you right. I said, I told you, dude. And then Dre was like, for real? I said, I'm telling you, dude, that record is a rap in New York. You because remember, this is before the internet and all of that other stuff that we got now, remember? So words traveled real slow back then, you know? I just so happened to trip, stumble, and fall into it. And so what was happening?
Man, the impact of that record was amazing. I think what happened, how that record popped off is it had like that grimy East Coast feel to it.
Right.
Because it was, it had a grimy East Coast feel to it that a lot of New Yorkers, even though they didn't like the G-Funk sound, they was like, yeah, we can grasp that. So I think that's a part of the reason why it popped off like it did.
Because remember, the New Yorkers basically took that record from us, didn't they? They took the beat, and everybody in New York always rhymed to that beat, don't they?
Yeah, like Pun and Fat Joe.
All of them.
Yeah. And it just showed a real testament of Dre staying power to the business. And it also played on that anti-cop thing because a lot of niggas was heated at the time with Rodney King, and that was like the outcry.
And all that crookedness of them, that niggas in the dope game know how they was extorting them and all of that other stuff, you know? All that crooked shit they was up to.
Yeah, and with the Chronic album, like throughout the weeks, like matter of fact, throughout the past couple weeks, they've been having like new records leaked from that record, like on Mr. Officer. It was like the original version of The Day the Niggas Took Over. It had Keith David on the intro. It was like some crazy shit. But were there a lot of records that didn't make the cutting floor because of the anti-police content?
Yeah, that's when Ice-T dropped the ball. Ice-T was at that seminar that year when all of that stuff started really bubbling up. You know, remember his Officer, his Cop Killer record, remember that, with Body Count, which wasn't even a hip-hop group. Remember that shit? And then he's on every panel. And Ice, my man, you know what I'm saying? I love Ice, man. Ice put it down like a hog out here. Talking about he wasn't going to take the fucking record off the project because once you start taking shit off and apologizing about what you did, niggas, get away from me. You understand what I'm saying? Nigga, either be in or go all the way out like a sucker, nigga. You understand what I'm saying? Or stand firm. Fuck them. It's as simple as that because once, you know, and I'm down with Ice. Yeah, Ice fucked them motherfuckers at Warner Brothers. Nah, nigga, you have to kick me off this label. I ain't taking shit off. Because if you take it off, they gonna kick you off anyway, dummy. Right? This nigga comes back from the seminar that year after he talking about I ain't going out there, nigga, going out like that, and I ain't doing this, and I ain't going out there like that. And, nigga, you went out just like that, nigga. You took that motherfucking record off that fucking album, the Cop Killer record, and then they dropped your ass. Now, that's what happened. So, and then at this time, you know, this is when, like they said, Sony didn't want to get that deal done with Death Row. Okay, because now the people are starting to hear about some of that little shit that's starting to leak out and hearing how, you know, these niggas are not as nice and as innocent as little rappers as we hearing. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Jerry and Easy that was pressing at that time about, you know, they wronged Easy and, you know what I'm saying, did this, that to him to get him to sign those releases and that, and the other. So nigga was like stuck. And then Dick Griffey and them didn't have no money. Nobody, at Death Row had any money. I had probably more money than any of them cats, not knowing how much Suge had, but I know Suge, was mainly using all of his money. And then this is what, when you were saying to me, what did I think about Suge? I didn't really meet Suge until the end part of Solar. Because remember, I'm not up there every day like a groupie at the studio. I would just go by and bring people by there, and I'm doing everything at that time, to keep this thing, help them keep this thing afloat. So I know that, I got to call the Source magazine, since I was one of the first Source writers in Los Angeles, myself and Greg Mack, right? So I called Dave Mays and John Schechter, and I said, hey, man, you need to send one of those writers out here and do a story on Dre and his new album. So that's when they sent Ronan Roan out here to do the story where you see Dre with the snub nose to his head. I set that up. I had to pay for him to be at the Roosevelt. The Source flew him out here, but I had to pay for his lodging. I had money then, so I wasn't tripping. So I had to do little myriads of things to keep that little ball in the air. And then as the album, was taking too long to come out, like you said, remember we had Mr. Officer, I Want to Put Your Ass in a Coffin, sir. Remember that record? We had to pull that record off. Sony not playing games with us. Sony not being full of shit with us. And all of that, so it was just a mess. It was just a mess, to be honest with you.
It was the whole thing with the politics involved.
Right. Yep. It was just a mess.
But then somewhere you guys get linked up with Interscope, Jimmy Iovine, and Ted Fields, and they start distributing the Chronic, and the record pops off. Like, you had Nothing But a G Thing.
Well, no, it ain't no somehow we got. Hold on, my man. It ain't no somehow we did. This what happened. Dick Griffey and Virgil did that meeting with Jimmy. They was about to close the doors there. Okay, they was about to close the doors at Interscope. And Ted Fields' family was not going to put money in there. See, people need to always give these people what actually happened. It ain't no all of a sudden. This what happened. And they were supposed to do the deal with Dick and Solar Records, right? But then Jimmy played that against the middle thing and basically snaked them and pushed them all the way out the deal. And they said that, look, we'll do the deal with you, but we won't do it. They told Suge and Dre they'll do the deal with them, but they won't do it with them four, with Solar, them, and them. So that's when we went from the Solar building and moved over to Westwood and Wilshire on that 12th floor. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what happened.
Yeah. Call number 1-619-924-0703. We got Doug Young in the building right now. Off the Cuff Radio, we live right now. Chopping it up. He giving us stories, giving us good game, correcting a lot of non-sayers on what people been saying. We got him in the building right now. So if you want to call and chop it up and ask questions, he's on right now. We on for 20 more minutes. Just thought I'd put that out there. And the creative process of the Chronic was incredible, man. Like, Dre, you guys had your back against the wall. You had hungry talent. And those records just start pushing like crazy. Nothing But a G Thing mainly. And F with Dre Day, which was Go There Easy. Let Me Ride. You guys was on a run, man.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and exactly, and just what you just said. I mean, I never seen Dre so upset. When I used to go up there, he used to be sweating in that studio. And I mean, the laser focus, I felt always when I went up there and just watched him producing, right? I felt so sad for him because it was fucked up. See, this nigga broke again. And I just felt that dude's soul when I used to go up there, man. He was mad. You understand what I'm saying? And he had all the right to be mad. And he was hungry. He was hungry like I never seen him hungry before, man. And then And then he was switching the style up. He was switching his production style up, and the man was just so hungry that what made that whole time so great was how see it's like this, bro. Usually when that early stuff that you do when everybody is hungry, when we all got buckets in the parking lot, and then once the parking lot have like a bunch of garbage cars and people barely got gas money, that's when you're gonna get the best work. And then when that whole car lot, I remember when the whole Death Row car lot turned into exotic, very expensive cars. You see what I'm saying? Then now here comes the bullshit. Trust me. Here comes the bullshit. Because the hunger is gone. The hunger is gone. So that's what happened.
But I got my co-host on right now. I got T-Max in the building. We got Doug Young with us, man. T-Max, what's good?
What's going on, King? Mr. Young, great to have you with us again, man. What's going on?
I'm good, guys. How you doing?
I'm good.
How you doing?
Yeah, I was chilling, just coming off the job and everything, man. So, so I was a little late, so my apologies. But definitely, but obviously, I just got in the midst of what you were talking about with the creative process of the Chronic in terms of, Dre going into the studio and, for a lot of people who saw Straight Outta Compton and, of course, the BET documentary, they knew that Dre's finances were not the best, leaving Ruthless. So essentially he was starting from square one. And like you said, with that laser focus, how much was Dre really, was this a situation where he was just basically trying to prove, was it kind of like the Cube situation where Cube left and he was determined to make his mark? Was Dre having that same intensity / determination to make his mark as well when he left?
Well, it's a little of above. It's a little of all the above. And what I mean by that,
right?
After we start feeling you get a little money, you ain't trying to go back to that broke shit. You're just not doing it.
Oh,
okay.
Oh no.
And it's something that from that alone gonna set a little fire on you. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it. You cannot do it. So you gonna get off your motherfucking ass, and that's when the road hit the fan. I mean, Dre really felt as if, you know what I'm saying. As Dre really felt
rubber hitting the road.
Rubber hitting the road. Dre really felt that Easy betrayed him. He did. He felt that Easy took Jerry Heller's side. Period.
Right.
Because Dre and everybody didn't want Cube to leave. That was Easy and Jerry. And then that's why even to this day that Cube has so much venom for Jerry. Cube don't like fucking Jerry Heller. Period.
Understood.
Period. Okay? Which, Cube and I told him had a right. I said, if I was motherfucking Cube, I wouldn't have signed that shit either, nigga. You wouldn't have gave me no motherfucking $20,000. Nah, nigga, I done caught you motherfucking slipping. You know what I'm saying? I'm out of here. How about I go get all the money? You see what I'm saying? How about I go get all the money?
Right.
Fuck you. I wrote that shit. Y'all know I wrote the hit. Me and DLC and all of them other people. You see what I'm saying? How about I go get all the fucking money? And that's what he did. And then you had those willing participants to help him solidify that, Brian Turner, because that's all he needed was Brian. You know what I'm saying? And Brian did what Brian do. And, you really can't blame him, but all of that, that playing innocent shit, fuck out of here.
Definitely. Now, when the Chronic came, because, of course, G-Thing dropped around the fall of 92. I believe it was September, October of 1992 as the lead single, of course. When the rollout officially came for it, did you have any idea of not only the hit that song would become, but how influential and monumental that album would become, with the Chronic basically being the staple in a sense of being a soundtrack for really, I don't want to say revitalizing the West Coast because the West Coast had already established itself at that time, but basically basically being such a huge influence on records that would be able to be released after that?
Well, first of all, everybody claimed that they picked the Chronic G thing. Nigga, I picked that record. Now, remember like I just told y'all about the Source magazine?
Yes, sir.
I did the Source. I had Ronin Roan come out. So my stuff, I always like to leave timelines and what I call breadcrumbs. Okay, you go and get that initial cover of the Source magazine.
That's
Ronin
what Dre on the
Roan,
cover, correct?
With Dre on the cover with the snub nose to his head, right? Them motherfuckers had tricked everybody into thinking that Rat-a-Tat-Tat was going to be the single because Ronin Roan liked it, right? Now, one day I'm taking my daughters, it was my turn to take my daughters to school. So I'm playing the album, right? This is how I came about it. I didn't even know that I would have picked G-Thing. So I'm in there playing, I'm driving down Foothill Boulevard in, from Phantom Cucamonga Fontana area, right? And then G-Thing come, and then the G-Thing song come on, right? And then the girls is in the back, your kids is in the back of the car. And then they both, at the same time, when G-Thing comes on, it ain't nothing but a G-Thing, baby, too low. So they both singing it together, right? And I'm looking back at them. And then I said to them, y'all like that song? They said, yeah, Daddy, that song is. They knew how to say dope. That song is dope. And then they were just singing it. And I'm looking, and I thought that was just so cute. So after I dropped them on, I put the G thing on repeat. And then once I go, and I just say to them, I just think G thing, because, Interscope really was considering doing Rat-a-Tat-Tat. People was considering doing that Rat-a-Tat-Tat because the Source magazine said it. I said, I don't give a fuck about that Source magazine saying it's Rat-a-Tat-Tat. It ain't no fucking Rat-a-Tat-Tat. It's Sheep thing, period. Okay? And I don't care what the Source magazine says. I don't care what they trying to tell you it should be. We're not using that as the single. It's as simple as that. We're not using it as the single. And then I said, let's just go with G thing. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And then I've heard Mike Conception say that he said G thing should be the thing. And then I done heard a whole bunch of people say it. But anyway, you go back and, like I say, do your homework, get that Source magazine, and see what they said. Now, most people, everything that the Source magazine, and this is covering my ass alone, everything that the Source magazine told labels or whatever to do, didn't they do it? Think about it.
Yeah. Because
the Source magazine was the most literate magazine in hip-hop culture at that time, period.
Yes, it was. And the funny thing about it is, of course we had saw some of the hardest tracks, with Deep Cover when that was released on the soundtrack, and really listening to the Chronic, in retrospect, G-Thing had to be the ideal first single because it had enough gangsta in it, but it was smoothed out. When you listen to a lot of the songs on that, when you listen to the songs like, when you listen to songs like Bitches Ain't Shit, for obvious reasons that it couldn't be the lead single, as dope as it was, the day the niggas took over.
Or Stranded on Death Row, or any of them. They couldn't be it. It was perfect. And I'm sorry, man, just to seeing my little two girls back there going, it ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. That was so cute to me. You know what I'm saying? And it was innocent. You see what I'm saying? And two loped out niggas going crazy. And they was two loped out girls, and they thought they was crazy. You see what I'm saying? They just matched them, man. I was cracking up.
Now, especially with that out. Oh, yeah, go ahead, King.
Yeah, I was saying the Chronic blows up. Death Row is officially putting a foothold in the streets. Then the follow-up is Snoop's album, Doggy Style.
Oh,
which
my
is the anniversary.
God.
It was game over when that time.
God.
When that dropped, it was game over.
It was game over, and it was the most stressful time of my music career life. That was the most. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I was kind of anxious to ask you this, and King read my mind on it. Now, we know how Snoop had basically established himself as the preeminent force, but there was also that murder trial that came up in the process. And from what I understand, and of course you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, from what I understand, when the album came out, I believe in November, it was actually supposed to have a December to January release because there were still some fine-tunings on it that they wanted to do, but because of the status of what was going on with Snoop's trial, they didn't really know what was going to happen, so they wanted to get it out as soon as possible. What's the real story behind it?
I had a fucking pretty good idea what was going to happen. I knew what was going to happen. Everything that happened. So to be honest with you, I never thought Snoop was going to get convicted. That wasn't going to happen.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
I'm just sorry. That wasn't going to happen. I mean, because you guys do.
That's why we're here to set the record straight.
Okay, let me tell you something. You guys do know who worked for us too, right? LAPD and the sheriff.
Right.
They were security.
Mm-hmm.
They was just the security you didn't see. They was behind the other walls in Death Row. They had their own little area.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Snoop wasn't going to no motherfucking jail. Remember that everything mysteriously became missing and nobody could find shit? Fuck out of here.
Now that we did not know, so we know.
Think about it. Huh? Yeah, nigga, you think you about to cut all this money off? Right. No. And it was just enough probable cause. That nigga was up in Long Beach, Mad Dog and shit. Snoop and them, constantly following Snoop and them. The nigga had a gun. What, man? What are you talking about? The nigga following us. And then he didn't try to kill that dude. That ain't Snoop. Snoop ain't nobody gonna press nothing. He like me, man. I'm not one of them niggas that's gonna be mad dogging a nigga and following a nigga in a car. Nigga, you trying to kill me, nigga, then we got a problem. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm not about to just sit there and get killed. Nigga, you shoot, nigga, I'm shooting back.
Yeah, man.
You understand? I'm not doing no running. I'm not doing none of that. Most niggas that I can see, when I be in some of these hood with some of these niggas, everybody shooting back. We ain't doing none of that, all that ducking and running and scattering shit, nigga. You get to dumping these niggas that I fuck with dumping back, nigga. Okay, period. The niggas that start running be the niggas that be falling in L.A. I'm telling you, niggas, especially us older niggas, first of all, we don't be dealing with that stuff, but in the 90s, niggas stopped all that running shit, homie. I'm telling you, all that old running shit you see niggas scattering doing the drive-by, that's some bullshit. Not in L.A. no more. Nigga, if you gotta have a whole bunch of niggas in that car, nigga, if you go shoot at a bunch of niggas, because them niggas gonna be coming at your ass like you saw on training day. I'm telling you, with cannons.
Yeah.
Now we have about several more minutes before we wrap this. Now we have about 7 more minutes before we wrap this thing up, and I'm taking some questions on my phone here. And another cat, he want to know that when y'all when Tupac came on the label, did the energy change on Death Row? Like, did it cause some sort of division?
Well, I would never know. That's when I exited. Exited. See, I'd already did Tupac's first 3 albums. Me Against the World was the last album I did for Tupac. I would never know. But the height and the tension became between the East and the West Coast. I just wasn't feeling it no more. And then I saw where all the instigation was about to come from. You know, I'm hearing all of this shit, you know, ear hustling some of the conversations with Pac and Suge in jail and all the rumors that's going around the office and how that shit is about to get turned way past 1,000 degrees of bullshit once this nigga hit the streets. And I didn't want to have nothing to do with that shit. I had made my little money. I didn't need to do no Tupac records because I did all of his original stuff. I don't need to do none of the Death Row stuff. And then, to be honest with you, after that Freaknik in '94 with them shootouts we had with them niggas in the South, and it's because now we the kids on the block. We the number one gunslinger. So every bad motherfucker from every town, city is gonna try our asses. And I was sick of that shit, nigga. We up in Nike Town, niggas is dumping on us. Niggas got a lettuce in they fucking they was, nigga. Niggas got lettuce in they motherfucking stores, pulled down the steel gates for us. We got a walkie-talkie, the limousine, vans around in the back to get us. Nigga, I'm cool. Nigga, I'm not about to die for this shit. And this is every town now. Somebody dumping on us.
Damn.
Oh, it got horrible. And every other place we turned in Atlanta that year, that Freaknik was off the hook. I swear it felt like it was 1 million some people there in '94. Million and a half there. It felt like so many people was in Atlanta. And every fucking place we went in Atlanta in '94, and Jermaine Dupri tell you this, that Freaknik was ridiculous. You couldn't even move in the city.
Yo, Doug, that in terms of Freaknik, and I was in high school at the time, and that was like, so you gotta remember, nigga, this is like before social media. This is before, look, if you could actually get a videotape of that shit, nigga, you was like the motherfucking man. So we heard about, this thing called Freaknik back when I was in high school in Virginia. So we're like, and it was only a dream, that we could all, like, we young niggas, so it's like it was only a dream that we could all go down there and see what everybody was talking about of literally just,
Wasn't that ridiculous?
Honey,
wasn't that day, 94, wasn't that ridiculous? Wasn't it ridiculous?
Yes.
That shit,
yes,
it was so fucking many people there. And then remember, we the man. I'm running around the city, nigga, with the above the rim soundtrack, nigga. So everybody just descends on me and Kevin Black, right? Girls, this, that, and the other. Niggas want to start fights with us, all kind of shit, nigga. I'm telling you, nigga, from 7-Eleven, man, we couldn't even go to 7-Eleven without getting into a fight, homie.
Damn. I'm saying.
We could.
This is a time. Everybody's supposed to be happy, but niggas, and it's funny, man.
No, them niggas wanted our heads. Them niggas.
No, I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, as a narrative, because it's funny because back in the day, this is a situation, me and King talk about this on the air and off the air all the time about how back in the day, if you really, really had some problems with some niggas or niggas had problems with you, there wasn't no Instagram beefing, there wasn't no Twitter, Twitter fingers. Nah, nigga, they was actually coming for you out there in the street.
Oh, yeah.
And it's fucked up. And it's fucked up now because you got a lot of niggas who shall remain nameless who want to get out there on the gram and all this and troll everybody and don't get pressed. I'm like, nigga, you coming up in a different time now because back in the 90s, nigga, not only did they press you, nigga, they was going to, it was a different game. It was not a game.
Right, so then you got to remember us as being like the number one label then. You see what I'm saying? And with the reputation that we had. And now, remember, shit is turning up now because this West Coast and East Coast thing is kind of starting to jump off in its infant stages now of it, right? And then then remember that Jake murder out there in New York, out there in Atlanta, Pre's birthday party was the straw that broke the camel back. Remember? That's when it was no turning it back now. So it's gonna be some months later Suge's gonna go out there by himself, just only him and Jake to Jermaine Dupri birthday party, right?
Right.
Jake don't come home. Okay, and we already got the rumblings about, the whole Tupac shit and what happened over at the studio and who set up what and who set up who,
Right.
So it just all turned into a nightmare, man.
And the last question I want to shoot, because I know you got to do another interview after this time, is do you ever envision Suge being...
No, I ain't got no more interviews after this one. Oh, I was about to say, I ain't got no more
don't?
interviews after this. This is my last one. I did that interview last week.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we can keep him for a little bit.
Yeah. This is the last. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Now, no, serious.
Because I was thinking you had another interview, so I was like, okay.
No, I got another interview coming on Pave the Way at 8:00 our time. Yes.
Okay.
But I did that last week in Hollywood. Pre-recorded that.
Oh, okay. So that was a replay.
Oh,
okay, I got you.
No, I do all my interviews like what I'm doing now. From overseas, I did stuff in Paris, London, in Japan. At the end of the year, I knock all y'all out at the same time, and I'm done for the year. That's how I do interviews.
We appreciate it. So, in terms of when you saw the beefing and everything, and you knew this just turned from petty jealousy to potential body bagging, because Jake was unfortunately a casualty in terms of what was going. going on. When did you know that this was just a situation that had spun out of control? And had anybody during all of these conflicts, was there anyone trying to make peace with all of this, or was it just it had begun?
No.
It had gone beyond that.
Yeah, because Pac was mad. Pac was mad. So at that point, we all knew, and anybody from the West Coast knew when Pac got out of jail, it was whatever the fuck he said. And, you know, why Pac? Because he said, what Pac said in one of his songs? Because I said so. That's the way it was going to be. It was, I mean, you knew it. So I decided, in order to keep my manhood, I just decided to get out of the way. I got out of the way because I didn't want to have nothing. I didn't want to have nothing to do what was about to go down. Now, I knew that there was going to be certain brothers from the East Coast that it was going to be cool. They can roll here. But I knew some of them niggas that if they came here and didn't have somebody really to tough them, they was going to get ate up. And you guys got to remember, like me and your man talked earlier, we didn't really have to go to that East Coast. The East Coast was just for props and showing your face and getting into battles. Because East Coast was like, they always bootlegged CDs, remember? Even back in the 80s.
Right.
They had bootleg CDs all over Manhattan. So we didn't never
Hood
really
Rats
sell anything.
made a song about it. Hood
Yeah,
Rats
I'm telling
made
you.
a song about it back in the day. Bootlegs. If you bootlegs, you get your leg broke, nigga.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm telling you. And so we never really tripped on it like that. It was just really props. You got to go show your face. And like I would bring my artists out there to throw them in what I call that lion's den of the East Coast. You see what I'm saying? I would throw their asses in that battle arena. Nah, motherfucker, you got to go out here and get beat up by these niggas. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what you do. And I used to just do the minds like that. It was like when I took my artists to the East Coast, it was like they hell week, a pledging. You know what I'm saying? And I would just go let them get socked up and socked out and beat up in them rhyme pits.